introduce yourselves.
Okay, my name is Markell Thomas. I am 43 years old. I am a fitness competitor, and I'm an IT guy. So a lot of times you expect for IT guys to look a certain way. I try to not fit that stereotype. I don't want to be that way. I'm a father. I have a 15-year-old son. I have a 25-year-old daughter. I'm a grandfather. And I've been married to this beautiful lady for over 20 years. Um, and I'm self-employed.
I am Jessica. I'm 43 years old. I am a mother and a grandmother and about to be a great aunt in about 2 weeks. I'm a district manager at Toys R Us, and during the holidays, I'm known as Mrs. Claus. I am been in toy retail for about 12 years, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And the people that I work with, and managing the people that I do. And outside of that, I am a bikini competitor. Very excited about my last show. Took home quite a few trophies, and I'm looking forward to Masters Nationals this year and bring home a little bit more hardware.
How did you get started in your fitness journey? Were you always athletic, and what led you to competition?
Not always in a fitness journey. About 20 years ago, I was a size 13, weighed 150 pounds. And the funny part about it, I knew I was overweight. I was 5 feet tall, very overweight. And my husband at the time was my boyfriend. Never said anything about my weight. Never said, you want to go try to exercise or anything. I just got up one morning and was like, you're fat. You need to lose weight. And since that day, he's been behind me 100%. So the weight has been off for about 20 years. It's fluctuated here and there. But I just had the mindset that that's not who I wanted to be. I was not happy, very depressed with who I was, and have been able to change that over the years, and very blessed in where I am right now, just mentally as a person.
I got into fitness because a lot of guys. I was a small guy. I was really thin. Coming out of high school, I guess I was about 120 pounds. So most guys, what we would look at who the girls liked. That's what my deal was, who the girls liked. And so I would exercise and things like that, but I never really got any size. And then one day, my son, who's 15 years old now, he came home. I guess he was in like the 5th or 6th grade. He's like, Dad, we're so little and I'm short. I was like, well, son, we're not big in our family. So none of the men are big, none of the men are tall. And you see your uncles, they're all small guys. So I made up in my mind that right then I'll show him that just because you're smaller doesn't mean you can't make improvements, and that you can be as big as the other guys, at least on your scale. So my son was probably the biggest influence on me getting in fitness and deciding to do shows and things like that, because I actually wanted to show him that if you commit to something and you have discipline and you stay on track and you follow your goals and you follow your predetermined path, that you can be successful. And I wanted to show him. And then the easiest way to show that to your children is to actually do those things. And so that's why I got into fitness, and that's why I like to compete. Again, I'm 43. I'll be 44 this year. Many times we don't have a lot of outlets to compete. So being in fitness, doing the shows and things like that allows me to still compete. And it also allows me to compete against other men who are younger than me. Some is young enough to be my sons, and to win and to beat them. So that's what I get out of competing. So.
Tell me how you do it as a couple.
Well, when we started about 3 years ago, 3 years ago I decided to go into heavy lifting. I did, Taebo, I did kickboxing classes, so I did a ton of cardio. It really had not a lot of muscle at all. So when we decided to work out together, and I started weightlifting, it was tough. I gave him a ton of attitude. I kind of still do to this day when he challenges something that I'm doing, but just going into weightlifting alone, which was an unknown territory for me, it was just mentally like, this is too much. I can't do this. These weights are too heavy. And I just really had to challenge myself to go back every day. Okay, well, that was day one. I remember my first leg day. I really thought that I needed to go to the hospital because my legs, I could barely get in and out of the car. But I went back and I kept going back and kept going back. And 3 years later, here we are. So it really, again, it's all a mindset and what you want. But doing it together, just seeing each other grow, him getting bigger than he was and me getting smaller and toned up and, building that muscle, doing it for so long just made it even more exciting every time we saw changes and changes and changes. And then deciding to compete together, that's entering another world of unknown. Okay, can I do this? Am I going to look like this person in this magazine? So having a partner to do it makes it so much easier, but you have to have that mindset to want to do it for yourself initially. But that adds a lot more value to it.
For me, training with my wife, and especially with meal prep and things like that, we spend a lot of time together in meal prep, and we find that during meal prep, we have those. It forces you to have those times to have the communication that you need to stay married for 20 plus years. I've been married to my wife as a very young man, and now, oh God, middle-aged man.
As a granddaddy.
And as a grandfather. So having my wife with me the whole time is amazing. Usually when you meet people, when you meet a person and then you decide you dating and things like that, there's a spark that you have in the beginning. It's because the person is new. Well, when you are in fitness, ever so often you meet a new version of the person that you love. You meet a new version of them, and many times it's a new and improved version. We in fitness, a lot of us, like, at least I like to say that there is actually spirit in training. There's spirit inside the weights, and as you get better with them, as your body changes, it doesn't just change your physical appearance on the outside. It changes your mental. And it changes the way that you perceive, the way that you talk to other people, the way that you experience life. And having my wife along with me on this journey is amazing. We like, I get to look at her and she's always like, she has a body of a young woman. She has a body of a lady in her 20s and she's in her 40s, and that is amazing. And that, of course, that helps me continue to go on, because I don't ever want my wife to leave the house and see some guy and like, wow, he looks amazing. Well, I think I look amazing. So being together as a couple and doing this as a couple is